South Park returned this week with a brand new episode that managed to mix politics, AI madness, and the show's signature dark humor in the most absurd way possible. After the wild Halloween special, the show went back to its regular storyline in season 28, episode 3, and it's safe to say fans were not ready for what came next. The episode had everything, from Butter's disturbing experiments with OpenAI's new generative video platform Sora 2 to J.D. Vance literally seducing Donald Trump in a bizarre political love story that only South Park could pull off. The episode kicks off with Butters showing his friends his latest creation made using Sora 2. He proudly presents a video where Santa Claus is seen doing something totally inappropriate, peeing in the mouth of his classmate Red. It's classic Butters chaos, except this time it's AI generated, which makes it even weirder. Naturally, Red doesn't take this humiliation lightly. In true South Park fashion, she strikes back in an even more extreme way. Red uses Sora 2 herself to create a scandalous AI video showing Butters having sex with Totoro, the adorable creature from Studio Ghibli's iconic film, My Neighbor Totoro. And she doesn't just make the video. She plays it in front of the entire school during an assembly. This instantly causes a huge uproar across South Park Elementary. Teachers, students, and parents are all freaking out about how AI is now being used to create disturbing videos featuring both kids and beloved animated icons. Detective Harris from the Park County Police Department is soon called in to investigate the bizarre incident. However, in classic South Park logic, Harris completely misunderstands the situation. Instead of realizing that these are AI-generated clips, he becomes convinced that fictional characters like Santa and Totoro are actually real and are somehow committing crimes against the children of South Park. This leads to a hilariously stupid investigation as the police scramble to track down animated characters. While Butler's AI drama unfolds in Colorado, the episode also cuts to Washington, D.C., where a very different kind of insanity is happening. Over at the White House, Donald Trump is fuming. He's trying to decide what to do with J.D. Vance after Vance apparently committed treason and, in a bizarre twist, tried to kill his unborn baby with the help of Satan. However, Vance being Vance, he somehow manages to talk his way out of trouble. Through smooth talking and some surprisingly emotional manipulation, he manages to seduce Trump and turn the situation completely in his favor. Yes, you read that right, J.D. Vance seduces Donald Trump. The two end up in a steamy, satirical sequence that takes place first in a hot tub and then in the Lincoln bedroom. After sharing a soak and some emotional bonding, they begin making out and eventually have passionate sex. The scene is completely over the top and ridiculous, but it fits perfectly into South Park's long tradition of pushing boundaries and mocking political figures through absurd, exaggerated storylines. Throughout season 28, South Park has been laser-focused on Trump, using him as the centerpiece for many of its jokes and plots. The show has turned Trump into a recurring main character, exploring his complicated relationships, not only with Satan but now with J.D. Vance. Over the last 2 seasons, Trump's storyline has evolved from chaotic leader to full-blown comedic anti-hero surrounded by political weirdness and personal scandals. Most of the show's usual cast, Stan, Kyle, Cartman, and Kenny, have been playing smaller roles lately as the writers seem more interested in using Trump as a lens to satirize American politics and culture. Trey Parker, the show's co-creator, recently explained in an interview with the New York Times why the show has leaned so heavily into political satire lately. He said it's not because he and fellow creator Matt Stone have suddenly become obsessed with politics, but because politics has essentially become part of pop culture. It's like the government is just in your face everywhere you look, Parker said. Whether it's actual politicians or podcasters, TikTokers and YouTubers, it's all political now. Because politics has become pop culture. That idea is clearly reflected in this week's episode, which manages to make a point about the blurred line between real life, media and artificial intelligence, all while keeping the laughs coming. Back in South Park, the chaos around Butters and Red escalates. Once Detective Harris' investigation hits the news, it sparks nationwide panic. Suddenly, people all over America are convinced that fictional characters are coming to life and committing crimes. Parents demand schools ban AI, while conspiracy theorists flood the internet claiming that AI has opened a portal between reality and fiction. In one scene, A terrified citizen insists that Mickey Mouse was spotted robbing a 7-Eleven. Meanwhile, Butters, who started all this mess, has no idea how much trouble he's caused. He just wanted to have some fun experimenting with Sora too. Eventually, Principal Victoria and the rest of the school board decide to step in. They hold an emergency meeting to address the growing moral panic around AI. Red and Butters are both forced to explain themselves, but instead of owning up, they start arguing about who used AI more responsibly. Red insists she was simply standing up for herself, while Butters claims his videos were art. This entire exchange turns into a hilarious back and forth that mocks the way people on social media often justify their bad behavior in the name of creativity or free speech. The situation gets even more absurd when Cartman tries to get involved. Seeing all the attention AI videos are getting, he decides he wants to cash in on it too. Cartman starts making his own deepfake videos for profit, charging other kids to make fake clips of their enemies doing embarrassing things. His plan, of course, quickly spirals out of control when one of his videos goes viral and sparks a new scandal. By the end of the episode, things have completely unraveled both in South Park and in Washington. In D.C., Trump and Vance's new relationship becomes a political media circus. Reporters leak photos of the two together in the Lincoln bedroom, and the internet explodes with memes. Meanwhile, back in South Park, Detective Harris finally realizes that the videos were AI generated all along. But instead of learning a lesson about technology, he decides that I should be arrested too. The episode closes with Butters once sitting at his computer, smiling as he opens Sora 2, and says, "Okay, let's see what Santa does next," hinting that this AI storyline might continue in future episodes. This episode is one of those classic South Park moments where the writers managed to mix real-world satire with ridiculous humor. The storyline with Butters and Sora 2 perfectly captures people's confusion and fear around AI, while the Trump and J.D. Vance plotline takes political absurdity to new heights. It's outrageous, offensive, and totally unpredictable. Exactly what fans expect from the show after nearly 3 decades on air. As the season moves forward, it seems Trey Parker and Matt Stone aren't slowing down on their political storytelling anytime soon. With the 2025 election season heating up in real life, of South Park continues to use humor to reflect the chaos of the modern world. And whether you love or hate their take on Trump and Vance, there's no denying that the show still knows how to make headlines. This week's episode once again proves that South Park remains one of the most fearless, biting, and hilarious shows on television.